So today I want to talk about the festive season and what I have been doing to make it a little bit easier for me during this period of time. I have been planning ahead. I've made a menu which I've been working towards. So I'm going to talk a little about my menu, about what the traditions have been in my family, and also what I've been doing to make it a little bit easier for me, that I'm not constantly in the kitchen. I can spend quality time with my family, and I am not doing dishes, prepping dishes or unnecessary dishes which I could do beforehand. So one of the first things is I have been checking, I always check the specials, and I have been getting any dry goods on sale throughout the year. Especially the last couple of months, been getting things like dry goods on sale, like all my baking stuff, and if I need any extra spices, or if I need dry goods like beans or lentils or things like that, I usually get those first. So that has helped me lots, and I've got those sort of stored away. Apart from that, I have nearly this week finished doing finishing buying all the ingredients I need for my Christmas shopping. For all my meals. So I'll be having my family come here from interstate, and that's about nearly a week's worth of cooking. So I've planned ahead of that, and so I can spend time with them. So a little bit of background about my family. So on one side of the family is Italian Croatian. The other side is English Irish. So they would have very, very different ways of celebrating. And one side would be very English, I would say, as in sort of celebration. So it would be a traditional roast dinner, and no matter how hot it was, my nan would still cook a traditional roast dinner, because don't forget, we're in Australia here over that period of time. So it can be very, very hot. She would make a roast dinner with the roast vegetables, salads, and then dessert would be usually a Pavlova, or it would be also a boiled Christmas pudding, which my grandfather loved. He was English, so he loved his boiled Christmas pudding, and I'm going to show a little bit about that, how I make it, in a video later on. So do watch for that. And then we would also have, Nan would give out, she would make for everyone, for each family, a Christmas cake. So that was like a fruit cake. And I did ask her this year, I said, Nan, I need your fruit cake recipe. You still don't have it. And she said, oh, it's just easy. Just get a fruit cake recipe and add some pineapple to it. And I was like, okay, yep, that's a big help, Nan. Anyway, so maybe I'll do something like that this year as well. With the Italian Croatian side, we would usually get there and there would be a platter of small goods out, so different types of sliced meats and cheeses, and sort of like olives and sun-dried tomatoes and all those sun-dried vegetables. And then after that, we would have lasagna and salad, all different types of salads. And we would have, with that, for some reason, we would have chicken schnitzels, but the way my nonna did it was a very particular way. So she would cook that as well. So that's what we would have. And then for dessert, we would have some Italian biscuits, and my auntie used to make these peach sponges. They're like a round sponge, and the inside would be a custard. So that was one of those traditional desserts. So that's what we'd have on that side. The Italian sort of side, everything would be placed in the middle of the table, and we would all help ourselves. When on the English-Irish side, it was all placed on plates, and then you all got your own plate, and that was it. So very different serving up as well. So with my menu, it's sort of a mix of both. With lunch, I will have platters, a couple of platters that I will just have all the food pretty much done in the fridge, and I will just bring it out. So I'll have the cold cut meats and also some cheeses, and then throughout the year I've been stacking up on different types of roast vegetables, like in the oil in the jars. And we have some things in our garden I'm going to put out as well. I'm going to make some pickles, put them out. And this week, actually, there was olives on sale. So I got olives as well this week. So that's another little thing to add to that. So everyone will have bread. So I make my bread myself. And then to that, they will stack like different sorts of like layers to make sandwiches. And then I'll make 2 dips as well. So that can be all done ahead of time. And that will cover pretty much the week of what we're having for lunches. So I will get the small goods closer to time. Everything else I've pretty much got already or is growing in the garden. One other thing I have to say is that with all our meat, we do buy it from a local family, like a local farm, and they're very transparent in their practices, so we usually buy that in bulk and then we keep that in our fridge or freezer. I don't have a canner at the moment to can any of that up, but I am saving for one in the future. So with my menu, I'm having lasagna one night, so I make all my pastas from scratch, and I can make it ahead of time. I dry out the pasta and then just use it as I need. So, but I must do a little side note here. Because I'm vegetarian, I make a little vegetarian lasagna and then I make a meat one for my family. So that's how I work that. I'm going to have salads. I'm going to make a big batch of salads and then just pull them out, put the lasagna in the oven when they get here. They're going to pre-make and then I'm done. The next night, my partner's request, we have a barbecue, which is, yes, very Australian. So he'll organise the barbecue, and then I already have the salads done. For me, because I'm veggie, I buy the large mushrooms, and then I stuff them full of like an egg wash with crumbs, and then like feta and different herbs, and then I'll put them in the oven. So that's sorted for that. The following night, I'm going to have pasta, so I'm going to make fettuccine. Like with the pasta sheets, I'm going to dry it out. With the lasagna, I'll just make extra sauce, one veggie sauce, one meat sauce, and then we have the pasta, so that's easy. For the main celebration day, I'm going to do roast, and then going to do some root vegetables, going to pre-chop up the vegetables, throw all that in the oven. I'm going to have some salad still left over. I'm also going to make a quinoa salad as one of the main salads, and that's all done. Then for the last night, I'm going to keep some of the meat aside, the roast beef, and I'm going to do a stir fry. So I've already got the noodles. I pre-bought those this year. So I'm going to use the noodles, and then I'm going to make a stir fry. And I've got lots of leafy greens in the garden, so I'm going to use all that up. So that's basically my menu, and it's going to make my life a lot more easier. So just by pre-prepping, and I'm going to have less dishes because I'm going to pre-do things before they get here. I've bought most of my groceries already, so I don't have to worry about that. Okay, then desserts. I'm going to make some fruit mince pies, and to get ahead for that, today I have made, you can see, this is the filling for the fruit mince pies. So in here I've done sultanas. You're meant to put like a citrus peel, like a candied peel in here, but I had oranges, so I just got the zest from the oranges and then I just popped that in there. So, and then in here you put sugar, you put lemon juice, and also a grated apple as well. So apparently I was reading this can keep for about 3 months. And then I just have to make my pastry and then cook those up ahead of time. So this should keep for a while, and obviously the more it sort of like ferments and crystallizes in the fridge, it will be ready and beautiful as a filling. Then I'm going to make a Pavlova as well. That's for one of the main celebration days. So I can make that ahead of time and then just put the cream and the berries or fruit, whatever fruit on top. And then I'm also going to make a Christmas pudding or a plum pudding. I'm going to boil it. I can do that ahead of time. And then I can just keep that also aside. and then get it like just sort of heated up before I need to serve it on the main day. So that's it really. And at least, you know, with some of these things I can keep a while, like even the plum pudding. Well, I don't think people would do this now, but I remember my nan telling me when she got married, she had like a tiered wedding cake, and the top tier was a fruit cake. And the tradition was, after you get married, whenever the first child's christening or first birthday, you would keep this top layer of cake, the fruit cake aside, and then you would eat that at their like whatever event it was for the first child as a celebration. I don't think that anyone would do that now. I think it's a very old tradition. I think even saying this now, some people might be really freaked out. But I thought I'd just mention that little story. But so anyway, I'd love to hear about what you're doing. Are you planning ahead? What are your menus like? How are you saving yourself from going to any sort of Christmas craziness, you know, near any of those shops? Do you have any traditions that you carry on with your family, or some different, unusual traditions? And yeah, I'd love to hear any of that, so definitely comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, I will talk to you then. Thank you. Bye.